My contract with Sakaki is at an end. I'm no longer obligated to guard her. Our classmates were uniformly surprised by the news, but they haven't pestered Sakaki about her reasons. I think they've more or less figured out why she made that painful decision. Makina, you ready to go? Amane had a shopping list too, didn't she? Don't forget it or things might get scary later. Okay, kid. You're just off character now. Don't tally-ho me. Makina? Her feet pattering noisily against the carpet, Makina heads up to Amane's room. On the other side of the lobby, Sachi is stooping slightly in the attentive pose of an old-time newspaper reporter, jotting down Sakaki's words in a small memo pad.
はい、わかりました。ごめんなさい。あまり外に出るわけにもいかないから。いいんです。遠慮されずに何でもお申し付けください。ありがとう。
But there's no scoop involved. We're going out for a shopping trip, so Sakaki's asking us to pick up a few things, just like Amane.
お待たせなのよさ。アマネからメモもらってきた。じゃあ、風見さん、行きましょうか。
Yeah. Answering my younger classmates, I glance to the far side of the lobby. Sakaki's been reading on the sofa at the side of a large front window for a while now, but from the desultory way she's picking up the pages, I think it's safe to say that she isn't particularly focused on the story. She glances up from the page briefly. Our eyes meet from across the room. Sakaki looks away, gets to her feet, and walks off in the direction of her room.
風見さん?
Right. Yeah. About time we got going. Since relieving me of my position, Sakaki hasn't set foot outside the school's walls. That's partially because of her own instinct for self-preservation, and partially because of me. The girls decided it's no longer possible to actively protect herself against the clear threat posed by those attackers. She dismissed me so I wouldn't be dragged into a losing battle on her behalf. But even after that, I've continued keeping an eye on Sakaki, if more indirectly than before. I try to keep my distance, but I'm never too far away to respond in case something happens. I think Sakaki's faintly aware of that. It's probably part of the reason she's shutting herself up in the dorm instead of going outside and making my life harder. It's not like she's come out and told me any of this, of course, but considering her behavior until now, it seems like a natural interpretation. Sakaki defiantly rejected the life of a bird in a cage, acting as she pleased in the face of threats. But now, she's locked up once again. My determination to protect the girl is part of what's now fencing her in. It's honestly pretty damn frustrating. Amane's shopping list isn't too huge today, and my young classmates only need a few things themselves, all of which we find easily enough. That said, the total time investment on this trip turns out to be fairly sizable.
ユミちゃんのオーダーは細かくてめんどっちいのよさ。
Sakaki's shopping list reflects her personality. It's neatly and methodically written, even naming specific manufacturers and product numbers. And Sachi insisted we conduct a painstaking hunt for the exact items described, so the final part of this trip is taking longer than the rest combined.
でも、ここまで細かく言っていただけると、買う方としては助かります。
Sachi smiles peacefully, allowing the eco-friendly, reusable shopping bags dangling from her hands to sway back and forth. Naturally, she's brought enough of those things for all of us. Not that it's anything new, but you're sure on top of things, Sachi.
はい、備えあれば憂いなしと申しますから、すべてにおいて通じる言葉です。
Yeah, true enough. They love that cliche at my workplace too.
避妊用品も常に持ち合わせていれば、と思った際にも慌てずに済みますよね。つまりはそういうことです。
Right. Sure. It's a bit late to limit my role in the rising levels of vulgarity around here, but when a girl who comes off as innocence personified starts talking like this, I can't help feeling a little guilty. But then again, lately I've been starting to think a good part of the problem might lie in Sachi herself. But as I'm considering the matter, Sachi comes to a stop with a small surprised sound. She's gazing a little way down the street with a curious expression on her face. What's wrong, Sachi? I turn to follow her gaze. What the hell is that woman doing? A certain blonde has parked herself by the side of the road.
もう遅い。
Ensconced in the driver's seat of her tacky, bright yellow sports car, she kicks her bare legs into the air in a tacky display of irritation, turning every male head in the area. She's putting on a big show of waiting for someone, looking down at her watch with a pouty expression of boredom, occasionally even whining to her audience.
いろんなものを持て余してる感じなのよさ。
An accurate evaluation. As I bring a hand to my forehead and sigh heavily, the bare-legged blonde in question turns in our direction.
Hi!
And with a greeting more appropriate for a co-ed hitchhiker stranded in the Utah desert, she favors me with a nauseatingly sweet smile. Alright, let's go. No reason to hang around here all day. Studiously avoiding eye contact, I attempt to play dumb.
ちょっとおい、何無視ってんのよ。こっちは1時間もこうして待ってたのよ。ガン無視ってことはないでしょ。ねえってば。
Abruptly switching to fluent and idiomatic Japanese you'd never expect with someone with her appearance, JB calls to stop me. I obey, feeling my face settle in an expression of profound irritation. What's this? Here I was thinking the owner of some cheap sex shop decided to announce his grand opening by renting a walking billboard bimbo, but it's just my good friend JB doing her thing. What can I do for you?
これまで功労者として多めに見てきたけど、その暴言はもはや許せないわ。風見裕二。
Look, JB, I'm not particularly criticizing you. I have the greatest respect for your professional capabilities. All I'm saying is, given your age, it might be time to quit this hobby of wandering around town in clueless foreigner mode, while dirty old men undress you with their eyes. No offense intended.
あんた絶対に次の移動でアフガンかソマリアに飛ばしてやるから覚悟しときなさいよね。
That might be a nice change of pace. I'm currently unemployed, you see. Really makes you realize the importance of having a nice steady job.
は？何言ってるの？あなた今。
Halfway through the sentence, JB bites her tongue. Sachi and Makin are at my side, and we're in the middle of a public street full of random civilians. Not exactly the time or place to discuss my job.
学生なのに無職とは面白いご身分ね。
Well, I suppose not. That's why I'm enjoying a lazy summer vacation instead of polishing my resume.
ねえ、ちょっと話があるんだけど、これから少し付き合わない？
What? Right now?
ええ、すぐに。
Sounds like another troublesome discussion awaits. JB still got a lighthearted expression on her face, but she spoke those words just now in a familiar deadpan tone of voice. From years of experience, I know it means this is somehow related to work. Sorry, but would you two mind going back first?
はい、わかりました。
だよ。フレッシュな小娘2人放置プレイでそっちの存在感のない金髪とんのか。お兄ちゃんってそんな熟女好きだったか？
存在感のない金髪？
ちなみに存在感ある金髪ってのはチルチルのことな。ありゃ忘れようと思っても無理な話やで。
存在感。
Interesting how that part bothers you more than the mature women crack.
ほら、マキちゃん、風見さん困ってるよ。
わーったよ。お兄ちゃん、ちゃんとおいたせずにまっすぐ帰ってくるのよ。
Never thought Makina would be the one saying that to me. The times truly are changing.
それじゃあ、春寺さん、失礼します。風見さん、先に戻りますね。
Sorry about that. Sachi promptly leaves, dragging a grumbling Machina along with her.
存在感ないかな。結構目立つと思ってたんだけどな。
Don't take the kid's crap seriously. Come on, let's get going already. Why is it that all the women in my life, regardless of age and personality, uniformly manage to give me headaches? Sakaki's begun to shut herself up in her room. Obviously, her visits to the riverbank have stopped as well. After a few minutes zipping down country roads in JB's ridiculously flashy car, the two of us take a seat near the otherwise deserted area where the incidents occurred.
そう。やっぱり個人的に護衛を頼まれていたのね。
And I wasn't specifically restricted from accepting. But in any case, it's been over for a few days now. For the moment, I explained the details of my recent unemployment to JB. I'd expected her to be a little more surprised about Sakaki's request and my decision to accept it, but she doesn't even bat an eyelid. Kind of kills my momentum. I suppose JB may have done a little investigation on her own part, as part of this whole thing with Sakaki's father.
ほら、お弁当作ってきたのよ。食べる？
Once I've more or less finished my story, JB pushes a prettily wrapped lunchbox in my direction. Sandwiches, eh? Wise choice, Julia. I suppose even you'd be able to make these without turning the kitchen into too much of a disaster zone. The weirdly girlish packaging is also a little painful to look at, but I decided best to keep that particular thought to myself.
あのね、ユージ。あれから私だって多少は料理も上達した。って食べる前に一言ぐらい言ってから食べなさいよ。
I did say something. Didn't you hear me?
もう。
Why the exasperation? I'll apologize if I did something wrong.
もういいわよ。食べながらでいいから、ちょっと話を聞きなさい。
JB retrieves a small notebook from her black file case, her voice shifting to a business-like tone. As directed, I listened carefully while chewing away at our egg sandwiches.
先日、市ヶ谷の本家で人事異動があったのは知ってるわね。
Yeah. They sent a message around. The chief of staff resigned and they appointed a successor, right?
いつもの勢力争いの結果だけどね。ただ、ちょっと困ったことがあって。後任となった門間陸将補は国交省と強いパイプを持っている人間で、主に私鉄関連の財界人と深い交流を持っていたの。陸将補は早速こちらに接触してきたわ。異例なのよね。お偉方が就任早々、私たちみたいな下々のことに気をかけるなんて。何か理由がない限り、そんなことはありえない。一体なぜかしらね。
To deliver some instructions about the situation with Sakaki's father, I'd imagine. East Beach lacked direct influence over our company, but now they've got a way to pressure us. Maybe even give us marching orders.
正解かどうかは私の立場からは言えないわね。ただ陸将補からは、風見雄二には別の塀の中に入ってもらった方がいいのではという話も出ていたわ。笑いながらだったから冗談のつもりなんだろうけど、内心はどう思っているんだか。
This really is a fantastic job, despite the crappy salary. First I'm pushed into a mission, then I'm yanked abruptly off it, and in the end, I get a nice trip to the doghouse for my trouble. Our employee benefit program is a shining example to the world.
ねえ、ユージ。ことはもう国レベルの話になってきているの。あなた一人が動いてどうなるような話じゃない。
What are you telling me to do?
学園から去って、榊由美子と関係を断ちなさい。そうしないと、今度は命令をもって、あなたに相対することになってしまう。
I see. So keeping me off the operation itself isn't enough for them anymore. Now they want me to keep me away from Sakaki herself. This whole thing has been a headache from the start, and it's clearly only getting worse. However, there's one element of JB's story that's been bothering me for some time. Sakaki's father interfering with public assets on behalf of His private interest is understandable, if legally dubious. But on a more fundamental level, the plot's full of holes. The vague initial orders, the lack of support, the artificial abduction attempts, and the obvious radical change after Sakaki Yumiko hired me. Under a certain hypothesis, these contradictions all begin to make sense. Hey, JB, there's one thing I want to ask you.
何よ。
Up until now, I assumed Sakaki's father had learned about a threat to his daughter's safety and was taking a variety of measures to protect her.
ええ、そうよ。それが何か。
But considering all the events up until now, the relationships within the Sakaki family, and this odd pressure from the chief of staff, I've started to think that the real threat to Sakaki Yumiko may be her own father. Any thought on the hypothesis? It had been in the back of my mind all along. If Sakaki Michiaki's objective was simply to protect his daughter, inducing Ichigai to take me off the job despite my success would make very little sense. But if the man's goals are exactly the opposite, things start to fall into place. He was probably trying to intimidate his daughter at first, and I was deployed to serve as some sort of prop in that play. The attackers' constant complaints about what they signed up for might have referred to a scripted scenario handed down from their employer. In any case, at the present moment, the identity and goal of Sakaki Yumiko's enemy appears very clear. Her father's the one trying to abduct her. Isn't that right, JB? Her face hard and expressionless, JB quietly casts her eyes down. That's more than enough of an answer for me.
私が答えられないと分かっていて聞いているのでしょ。どうせ。
Sorry, Julia.
もう。
JB has her own position to consider. Middle management in my company means dealing with highly confidential matters. I can't even guess how many secrets she's obligated to keep. And JB's the very model of an uber-professional German with a deeply ingrained reverence for playing by the rules. Nonetheless, I'm constantly using personal emotions and our shared history with my master to try and pry information out of her. I'm probably going straight to hell based on my treatment of women alone. Well, not that I have the Celeste qualifications for heaven in any other respect. I'm worried about Sakaki. Think I'll be getting back to the dorm now.
本当にいいの？このままで。
I'm going to be in danger if I continue interfering with the Sakaki family squabble. And from what JB's told me about Ichigai's internal situation, there's a real chance my own people might end up trying to kill me. Sakaki's alone. If I leave, she'll lose what little she has left. Now that I've learned about Sakaki's past, closing my eyes and abandoning her is no longer an option. The girl spent her whole life profoundly isolated, and now, yet again, a group of self-centered adults are trying to tear her life apart. Although she cut herself off from others as a means of self-defense, somewhere deep down, Sakaki's still desperately hoping to be rescued. I don't know if I can save her, but if my interference can create a positive change in her life, I'm going to keep interfering. I owe that much to the woman who pulled me free of the same dark swamp Sakaki's trapped in.
ねえ、ユージ。
What?
あなた、ひょっとしてユミコのことが好きなの？
Why is it that women always go straight for the romantic explanation? You're no better than those leering gossips in the dorm.
違うって言い切れる？
At the very least, that's not what this is about. Probably something closer to sympathy.
同情ね。
JB responds in an ambiguous tone that suggests she's only half convinced.
市ヶ谷を含め監視は厳しくなるわよ。場合によっては国に歯向かうようなことにもなりかねないわ。
Suppose so.
もう一度ちゃんと考えて。ユージ、あなた自身のこともね。
Her voice seemed a little lonely at the end. A bright yellow car, badly out of place on the shabby country road, roars around the bend and disappears. The edge of the sky reddens little by little. Clouds begin to gather overhead, suggesting an evening shower to come. JB says difficult things sometimes. Turning over her final words in my mind, I slowly begin to walk the road home. The shower turns out to be a full-blown rainstorm, continuing well into the night. My room is filled with the rushing sounds of the rain outside. I sit in bed and listen, completely unable to sleep. Insomnia is not exactly uncommon for me, but today it's not the usual variety. I just can't get that conversation with JB out of my head long enough to nod off. Sakaki Yumiko, eh? Honestly, I didn't give her that much thought at first. Our first encounter certainly left a strong impression, but since then, she's tended to fade into the background as often as not. For one thing, I've always tried not to get too deeply involved with my classmates, and she's a deeply private person herself. At some point, I recognized we were pretty similar in that regard. Little by little, I developed something of an interest in her, and right now, she's weighing on my mind more heavily than anything else. Sitting up in my bed, I push the curtain open and look outside. It's coming down even harder than I'd expected. Staring at the drops of water bouncing off my window, I feel my thoughts suddenly lurch inward. Something almost like nausea wells up inside me. From the bottom of my throat, the depths of my mind, something ugly pushes its way to the surface. Think about myself. Those were JB's instructions from this afternoon, weren't they? Funny thing to ask of a pet dog. In between rough breaths, a few self-deprecating words spill out of my mouth. I'm a dog, raised and trained on taxpayer money to accomplish certain jobs. They allow me the bare pretense of humanity. That privilege is conditional on my absolute loyalty and success. And now I'm on the verge of ignoring orders outright, opposing Ichigaya for the sake of one woman. Is it all right to betray your country? To help a single person? My master never taught me the answer to that one. Sakaki, what do you want to do? A girl whose mother disappears into a deep fog. A young woman betrayed by her father. A human being who lost sight of herself, consumed by a sense of meaninglessness. Staring at my faint reflection in the window, I ask Sakaki Yumiko a question. I know there's no answer waiting for me. Even Sakaki probably doesn't have one. But at this rate, she won't have the luxury of indecision much longer. The drumbeat of the rain against my window finally dies down. In the silence, the darkness outside seems to grow thicker and more menacing. Resting both hands on the window, I continue to ask the night questions without answers. It feels like dawn may never come. And the next morning, we're blessed with such pleasant weather that it's hard to believe that storm passed us by only hours before. Even so, Sakaki gives no sign of leaving her room. It's just about the time when she'd usually be heading out for the riverbank. But she doesn't even appear in the lobby. Her shoes sit untouched in the cabinet, slowly gathering dust. In only a few days, that simple daily routine had vanished, leaving nothing but a void behind. And yet again, I have nothing to do but stand around engaging in silent soliloquies. Michiru and Amane eventually invite me on a shopping trip. Probably found it a little hard to watch me guarding Sakaki's invisible afterimage. It didn't seem like Sakaki was likely to step outside of her room today, so I decided to accept.
いや、ごめんね、ユージ。車もバイクも調子悪くてさ。その上いろいろと買うものだけはあって、ちょっと困ってたのよね。
We picked up a bunch of small miscellaneous items for Amane on the previous shopping trip, but today it's mainly bulky items like tissue paper and rice. All three of us have our hands pretty full by the end. Definitely would have been difficult with just the two girls. I don't really mind. Also, the sambar is one thing, but I'm having a really hard time imagining you carrying 10 kilos of rice on that motorcycle.
まあ、そりゃそうよね。
I can just see her roaring down the street on the ridiculous low-riding chopper she calls Babataro, with a big sack of rice strapped to her back like some backwoods grandma. Then again, Amane puttering along happily in a prototypical country mini-truck, packed to the gills with provisions, would also be pretty comical, but unlike the first case, it's funny because she'd look so perfectly appropriate in that picture. Probably better not to mention it.
ああもう、このトイレットペーパーってやつはなんでこう指が痛くなる作りにしてんのよ。お客様サポート機能してんの？
Temporarily lowering a package of 12 recycled paper rolls onto the ground, Michiru shakes her hands in pain. Her index and middle fingers are already marked with bright red lines. No way to get around it when you're carrying those things.
じゃあこれ使う？こないだマキナに届いてた荷物の持ち手なんだけどさ。
おお、引っ越しの時に使う緑のあれじゃん。使う。すごいわね、アマネ。なんでこんなの持ってんのよ。
いや、なんか使うかなって思って持ってたんだけどさ。
あのさ、アマネ、助けてもらって言うのもなんだけどさ、あんた本当におば。
皆まで言わなくてもいいわよ。とっくに自覚してるからさ。どうでもいい。
大丈夫よ。男ってそういう母性のある女には弱いって聞くしさ。ほら、ユージからも何か言ってやってよ。ねえ。
What? My listless response is met with two vaguely reproachful glares. What's with the look? And the groaning.
はあ、またしてもうちら置いてけぼりっすか。
置いてけぼりっすね。今日これで3回目っすね。
Do me a favor and cut it out with the synchronized scorn. And what do you mean the third time? They answer my question with a pair of exaggerated American-style shrugs. After another set of deep simultaneous sighs, they begin talking to each other instead of me.
聞きましたか、アマネさん。この野郎、さっきまでの2回のスルーはカウントすらしてなかったみたいっすよ。
マジ空気っすね。何もないっすね。こっちは気遣って話しかけてんのにマジ空気っすよ。やってられねえっすよ。
So it would seem I've fallen out of the conversation twice before without even realizing it. Putting aside this irritating little routine, I do feel slightly guilty about their whiffing on their thoughtful attempts to feed me setup lines. Yeah, guess I was a little lost in thought. Didn't mean to ignore you guys. Sorry about that. Amane and Michiru glanced at each other and exchanged brief, slightly tired little sighs. But when Amane turns back to look me in the eye, there's an oddly gentle expression on her face.
榊さんのことよね。
Yeah, that's right. Saw right through me. It's times like these that make you realize women control the world on a pretty fundamental level.
まあ心配よね。解雇されたとは言っても、あの子の周りに何も起こらないって保証があるわけじゃないし、そもそも何が起こってるのかもよく分かってないしね。
How has Sakaki been doing lately, from what you've seen? Anything noticeably different? Amane shakes her head slowly.
パッと見は変わんないけど、やっぱ少し落ち込んでるっぽいわね。
マキナがいつもの調子で突っ込んでも寂しそうな顔して「そうね」とか言ってるだけだもんね。普段のユミコとは明らかに違うというか。
I see. Sakaki's trying to at least appear calm around me. But even so, it seems she isn't completely able to hide the turmoil underneath the surface.
まあそのさ、私には難しくてわかんないけど、あんたまでそんなんじゃみんな一緒くたで落ち込んじゃうからさ。とりあえず空元気だけでも出しときなって。
そうそう、ここでごちゃごちゃ考えててもしゃあないわけやし、家戻ったらごちそう作ったるさかい、それ食べて元気出しやな。
Amane delivers this line with a guffaw and a friendly smack to my ass. Not only am I unable to help Sakaki, I've ended up getting my classmates worried about me. Truly pathetic. What am I supposed to do? Yet again, I find myself mired in a simple question that has no clear answer. What's that? Just as we're getting close to the dorm, I notice something slightly out of place. It's the sound of multiple engines moving away from the entrance.
なんか車の音したよね。
学園長は夏休みでいないはずだし、何なんだろう。
Amane is the only one here with a motor vehicle of any kind, so it's pretty rare to hear engines running this close to the school. The principal and JB would be the main suspects, but as Michiru pointed out, the former is on vacation, and the latter wouldn't just disappear before I came back. Spurred by a sudden sense of unease, I set off toward the dorm at a run.
あ、ユージ？どうしたのよ、急に。
The instant I open the dorm's front door, Machina comes running up to me. What happened, Machina?
マーキナ、落ち着いて何があったか話して。急だったのよさ。ママ姉たちが買い物に出かけてすぐぐらいに車が急に止まって。ほんで、ユミちゃんはいるかって聞かれて、私が答えないでいたら無理やりにでも中に入るぞって脅してきて。怪我とかなかったの？あんた大丈夫だったの？怪我とかさせられる前にユミちゃんから出てきちゃったのよさ。
Sakaki came out. Machina nods repeatedly.
ユミちゃん、これ以上みんなに迷惑かけられないからって荷物を持ってきて、そのまま車に乗っちゃったのよさ。そんな、どこ行くかとか言ってなかった？
This time, the girl slowly shakes her head from side to side.
一言も言わなかったのよさ。みんな黙ったままですごく怖かったの。そっか、よしよし。
Amane hugs the anxious-looking Machina close and begins to lightly stroke her head.
リュウジ、どうしたの？顔、怖いよ。
Michiru looks up at me, uneasiness in her eyes. You went with them voluntarily. Is this what you really want, Sakaki? An image of Sakaki's desolate expression on the night she dismissed me floats to the surface of my mind. A message. An electronic chime from my cell phone temporarily interrupts my line of thought. Sakaki. When I read those lines, the face that flashes before my eyes don't belong to Sakaki. It's the face of a woman who once spoke the same words to me, over and over again. A woman who never accomplished anything, never broke free. And then, a man with an angular face, reaching his hands out for me, swinging his fists mercilessly into my face. The memories seemed to rise up out of the tiny LCD screen and push their way to the present. That idiot! Closing the cell phone, I snap out the words reflexively.
ユージ？どうしたの？何かあったの？
Ignoring their concern, I fire off a question at Machina. Machina, what was the model and color of the cars, and how many were there?
黒のエンチュリーで2台で来てたのよさ。
I see. Nodding, I glance quickly around the room one final time. I'm going.
ユージ！ちょっとあんたどこ行く気なの？
That's the last thing I want to hear from you, Sakaki. I'm sick of it. I won't hesitate anymore. We've both made mistakes, but I'm not about to let us repeat them. I sprint toward the front gate as fast as I can. Shit! A pair of cars carrying Sakaki already left a minute or two ago. For the moment, I need to get my hands on something I can use to pursue them. But of course, there aren't any cars conveniently lying around with the key in the ignition. Amade's motorcycle and Samba are out of commission too. What do I do? Just as I'm running through various possibilities in my head, I hear someone humming a cheerful tune, soon followed by a carefree greeting.
風見さん、お戻りでしたか。
Sachi's returned, on a bicycle. Judging from the tranquil smile on her face, it seems she missed the earlier commotion entirely. Sachi, that's... Her bike is a medium-sized modern model with small tires, more than a little out of sync with her maid uniform. Sachi lowers herself to the ground easily with a little whoopsie daisy, then lowers the kickstand with one smooth movement of her leg. A mini velo, right?
はい、そうです。さすがは風見さん、よくご存知で。
An ivory-colored frame with two cute little wheels on either end. Since the tire diameter is small, it's easy to get it moving quickly. Even knew a few guys in my company with a passion for these things.
ここ最近、ウィーグレから毎日のようにメールが届いてまして、それで思い切って買ってしまった次第です。あ、ウィーグレというのはイギリスの通販サイトなんですが、風見さんご存知でしたか？
I've heard people say these things are small but well made. Looks like it's true. With a few quick movements, I inspect the handles, seat, and the quality of the tires. Looks like she might have bought a slightly customized model. The frame seems to have been strengthened in places to endure bumpier conditions. This area does have a lot of unsurfaced or poorly maintained roads. Very typical of Sachi to account for these things in advance.
直訳すると、ヘイサチ、ポンドがボロ安で自転車安いからフィッシュ&チップス感覚でチャリでも買わないかいとか、そんな感じなんですが、そうそう、そもそもミニベロのベロというのはフランス語で自転車を意味してるんですが。
Sachi, you think I could ride this without issues?
はい、もちろんです。整備も万全ですよ。試しに軽く乗ってみますか？
Sounds good. I swing myself onto the mini velo and put my feet on the pedals.
うわ、早速乗ってくださるんですか？それは何よりです。今しがた油も差したばかりなので、実に素晴らしい走行性能が確保でき。って風見さん？
See you later.
ヤッホー！ミハムライダーかっこいい！あれ？
Hey everyone, J Square John Jeremy here. Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to click on subscribe and the bell icon to ensure you're kept up to date on the channel. Until next time, so long and take care.